So I just thought I'd update some people on um, what I've been up to recently. I'm working on schematics for Age right now. It's kind of like the base idea without right now very specific rules. Ignore this. um, anyway, we have kind of I've been trying to design a way to create customizable weapons based on like live statistics and similar things you can just get off the internet. And right now I have melee weapons where it's pretty simple. They just do a certain amount of damage on a hit equal to their weight. As easy as that. I'm working on gritty realism right now. So this is actually a lot of damage. I think you have 20 health in all in gritty realism. Anyway, short sword. There's 3 damage because short swords are like 3, 2, and or 3 pounds on average. Zweihander. Whatever German phrasing is that. I couldn't even put the A in. The A is like one of those weird things with 2 dots on top of it, but it does 7 damage because it is 7 pounds. And the Statue of Liberty does 450,000 additional damage if used as a weapon. Oh my god. Alright. Ranged weapons deal damage based more on the accuracy of the shot. Yeah, that's what I was kind of. So, I didn't want the ranged weapons to be based the same way as the melee weapons because then there would be no point to using a melee weapon in melee combat. Because, of course, a gun's gonna do more damage than a short sword. So, I decided to instead base melee weapons off of their weight and make the ranged weapons damage do more damage depending on the accuracy. So if you hit someone, it has no additional damage, so it just does the base damage. Whereas normally if you hit someone with a melee weapon, it'll do the damage no matter what. Um, if you hit by 5 or more, which means that if you roll a number that's higher than, including your accuracy, that's higher than 5 more than their armor. So let's say they had 8 armor or 8 defense in this game, and you rolled a 13. That is 5 more than their armor or defense, which means that you would get an additional damage equal to the projectile's mile per hour divided by 100. So since and it's round up. So since arrows have 150 miles per hour, that's plus 2. And I have the bow damage right here. It does 0 plus 2. So 0 on the first hit, you see. Um, 0 on a hit, just a normal hit. Plus 2 on a hit that's more than 5 over the armor. And plus 4 on a hit that's more than 10 over the armor. So that makes it more based on accuracy and stuff. And so since like there's 20 health in the game, I wanted it to have so you could get one shot by weapons and that kind of stuff. And handgun uh have uh, plus 0 plus 17 plus 34 because bullets the average bullet flies at 1700 miles per hour and that divided by 100 is 17. So this would be customized stuff. I would already have presets for those of you who don't want to do math. That's kind of the idea. Oh, also a Model 54 Winchester rifle with .22 .220 swift ammo. Damage plus 0 plus 32 plus 64. I just searched like the fastest bullet in a sense. And this could one shot you by a long shot. It's like really powerful. Winchester rifles are pretty famous though, I think. So honestly, there'll also be I'm gonna add in things later about melee, like how ranged weapons will have disadvantage at melee range. So like some weapons will have disadvantage. Let's say it's there's gonna be 2 kinds of weapons, right? There's 2-handed weapons and one-handed weapons. So Zweihander, which literally means two-handed, um, is a two-handed weapon, whereas a short sword is a one-handed weapon. So you'd be able to wield two short swords in a sense. But for ranged things, the two-handed and one-handed weapons differentiate in the fact that one-handed weapons will be able to be used in melee combat, whereas two-handed weapons will have a major disadvantage in melee combat, aka this rifle. Whereas the handgun will have advantage, it will be able to use normally in melee combat, because if you're against someone while you're holding a gun and they're holding a sword, but like it's just a handgun, you can move that around pretty easily and hit them with it. If you're holding an entire rifle, it's a bit more difficult. So that's what I'm going to add in. I'm not sure what kind of game I'm going to be playing. I do want to include guns and that kind of stuff into my game, but I also want to make it so melee weapons are still relevant. So it really depends. I'll have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, I just wanted to update you, tell you what's going on, show you a little bit of what I'm proud of so far, and this isn't going to be as complicated in the final rules. It's going to be more straightforward and easier to understand. Of course, the melee weapons are super easy to understand, but this is a little bit more difficult, so I'm going to try to fix that and make it more accessible. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed.